Johnny Wharff and another Marietta High School Athletic Hall of Fame spotlight. A reminder to our listeners that the Hall of Fame banquet is October the 19th, and one of our inductees this year is Ryan Robinson, class of 1995. And Ryan, just number one, congratulations. You're one of the few people that I had the opportunity to watch for 4 years, and what a great joy it was. We were close enough with soccer and hoops. I didn't get to see much track, but I know you had your hands in all of it. When you look back, how do you manage doing 3 sports when you were in high school and still come out, I know, with a GPA far and ahead of others?
Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it. I think, when you're in high school, if you're not doing sports or you're not doing studies, you're pretty much getting in trouble. So I thought that I think my parents did a good job of instilling that in me early on, and that's just kind of what I focused on and spent my time on. So it was a good workload, but really, what else are you going to do as a teenager and not get in trouble? So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's jump on to basketball a little bit. I remember it seemed to me out of the ordinary, or I don't recall it ever happening, that a freshman got pulled up to start. And was that a unique thing at the time? Do you recall?
Yeah, I think it was, and it really, at least at Marietta High School, historically, has been. I had dinner with Coach Paxton not long ago, and he even couldn't recall a freshman getting called up and starting on a consistent basis. So we couldn't really find another one of record or memory, but I'm sure there's probably one out there. It's just we couldn't really recall it.
And I know you had, or you still have the assist record, and at the time, I think when you graduated, the points record. That is not something one guy holds in terms of two things, points and assists. Don't seem like you'd have both those records, but I think when you stepped away, you did.
Yeah, that's correct. Unfortunately, I didn't quite get to 1,000 points, but and I think we probably all know if Bill Sutton or Billy Ross has a 3-point line that I might not have gotten it. But I think just barely got past Mr. Sutton there. I think he had 985, and I got to 993, but didn't quite get to 1,000. So. And then I think Joe Vakovic quickly broke it a couple years later, and then it's been broken a few times since. Joe broke it.
Oh, so much fun to look back on those days. And if you go back even into your youth, Ryan, talk about the coaches or the mentors or guys that jump out into your mind when you look back.
Yeah, no, that was actually, I probably will touch on that in, my speech a little bit. That was one thing I was definitely wanted to hit on, because I feel like, I always had a good foundation of that growing up. First really it was kind of, Mark Harris and my dad, Doug, who taught or showed us the way early on in YMCA and grade school. And then, through the middle school, I had Coach Brooks, and then Jerry Smith, whose son Jeff's also going into the Hall of Fame, so that's interesting. And then in high school, early on, Coach Duckworth was my JV coach for a few games until I got up to the varsity. But those guys coming up were always really good coaches, and I think a good foundation of fundamentals and stuff that helped me succeed at basketball.
Ryan Robinson, class of 1995, Marietta High School, will also be able to add class of 2019, Marietta High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee. We're going to take a break and be back with some more thoughts from Ryan Robinson after this timeout. Johnny Wharff along with 2019 Hall of Fame inductee Ryan Robinson to the Marietta High School Hall of Fame. And Ryan, maybe We talked a little bit about basketball, but soccer I recall as well because I followed because, of the connection we had with you and Josh at the time, Josh Harris, and I think he was in goal. But man, those were some cool nights on the road and into postseason and a really good run. But much like these teams that we've had of late.
Yeah, no, for sure, and it definitely was a unique situation. Having my best friend and who was the best fan of my wedding, Josh Harris, who's obviously your nephew, but to come back and live with you and Carol for his senior season, so he could play basketball and soccer along with the friends he played with in 7th and 8th grade before his family moved away for the first 2 years of high school to Charleston in West Virginia. But so that was awesome. And then soccer itself was really fun. Coach Brock did a great job setting the foundation for the program, and we just continued to build on that and had some of the better teams. Winning, I think, the district tournament my freshman year and senior year, but ran into the same team twice, unfortunately, there from Columbus and Thomas Worthington, but in the regional. Yeah. But was great. And I think growing up playing soccer, another MHS soccer great, Ben Cunningham, was his family, and he was a good example for me growing up as well too. A lot of my traveling soccer when my parents couldn't make it, I went with Ben's family, CJ, who was the assistant coach at the time, and Josh Cunningham and Ruth, CJ's wife, took me to a lot of tournaments growing up, and so having him as someone to look up to a little bit as I was getting started in middle school and high school soccer or traveling soccer was also great.
For our listeners, just to put in perspective what Ryan did, and we look back when he graduated in '95, 9 varsity letters, holder of 5 individual records, 3 of which still stand. I think soccer goals, soccer assist, goals at 74, assist at 33, and a GPA of 3.8 coming out of high school and into the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Talk about the transition from high school to go into the academy and what drew you there, because you played sports there as well, right, Hoops?
Yeah, that's correct. Played basketball there. It's kind of always a debate whether I could play, the 2 sports in college or not. Unfortunately, I had hurt my knee a little bit my senior season, so I was a little bit apprehensive about potentially playing 2 sports in college. So just the way that the college recruiting fell, and ended up going to Merchant Marine Academy, which is in Kings Point, New York, on Long Island, just outside of the city, but it's one of the 5 federal academies, Naval Academy, West Point, Coast Guard Academy, Air Force Academy being the other 4. I think the cost, being it was a federal tuition-free school, and with a commitment that comes after, set up best for the family, and really it was kind of random. Coach Andy Greer at the time reached out to me randomly through a scouting service during a week, and that same week the America Queen sternwheel boat was in Marietta, which is I think the largest sternwheel boat. And obviously my grandfather Harry was a big fan of mine, and obviously a big supporter of Marietta and the Sternwheel Festival. The captain of that boat, my grandfather took me on the boat, and he was a Kings Point graduate. So kind of in 2 days in the same week, I got 2 touches from Kings Point. Ended up going to visit and thought it was a great school right by New York City. So got to spend a lot of time in New York City through my college years. I thought that was a good way to branch out, get a good solid education, and also play basketball in college.
And thanks for your time. I appreciate it very much, and a great interview. It's so good to look back on these memories. An honor for me to have been able to watch you, at least in a couple of sports for those 4 years, and as well, thrilled to have you back in the community and part of this community. So congratulations on your induction, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it.
Hall of Fame inductee Ryan Robinson, class of 1995. The Marietta High School induction Hall of Fame ceremonies will be October the 19th.